Right, greetings everyone. This time, Miss Steam will be managing the chat. Steam, are you there? Steam? Steam, are you there?
God damn it, Discord! Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Discord wouldn't let me unmute.
I see. Strange. Well, anyhow, I suppose to check the introductions first off. If you haven't seen the stream before, I am Director Arketer of Arketer Labs. With me I have Miss Steam managing the chat this time. Angry Problem has been managing it in the past, but they are tending to real-life concerns of some sort. I'll remember his priorities in the future. Actually, he's been quite obliging as well. I won't give him too much grief on that point. How's the chat looking, Steam? Okay, this is going to be a fun one, I can tell already. Well, moving on. This, as you may or may not already be aware, will be a open mic. Pardon? This will be an open mic article raid of sorts. To start with, we apparently have Huon Head catching his beat on Twitter for suggesting that minors on Twitter block pedophiles immediately. As some of you out there may be aware, I am not a fan of blocking, generally speaking. I think it's badly overused. By a lot of people who seem to think that it's an instant-to-win button, which it really isn't. Some people rather famously abuse it. Block bots and lists, of course, my special pet peeve, because it's basically inviting someone else to stick their fingers in your ears and, you know, just choose what you get to see and hear. It's not healthy, figuratively or objectively, if you actually invite someone to stick their fingers in your ears. Anyhow, this case, though, well...
You are minors, like, a lot. If you guys see anybody with the terms map, no map, AOA, a clown emoji, or a circus tent emoji, stay far away from them. These are the things they use to identify themselves. If they contact you at all, block them.
Oh. Oh no. I'm sorry, has Huon Head gone all Steve Shives on us?
Yes, that's right. Encouraging kids to better isolate themselves away from pedophiles is just like being Steve Shives, you know. This rainbow-haired abomination on the screen is one Omnizoa. I believe Gabby G. Wiz in particular has some experience with him. They're a basket case. They're pretty nuts. I think we're going to hear a lot of them in the future as they probably, tragically and depressingly, gain some steam. Apparently they've been picking fights for well over a year now on YouTube. Extraordinary. It's a shame I didn't get a chance to discuss them with Tranime Girl, one of their many targets, along with Omegon. I don't think Steam's still with us, which leaves me in something of a loss as to how to manage the chat without the chat manager. I'll just take a quick moment to access it by other means. Ah, Dylan Rush, greetings. Greetings, Nightwolf, Jacob Gulf City Navo. Glad you could make it. If you weren't all aware, please do consider subscribing also to Direwolf Media's channels, including Direwolf Media itself and Clyde Surbox. It's good also if you want to participate in the raffle. They're raffling off Dreamkeepers comics, and you can enter that with just a mere $2 via their Streamlabs account, which I'm going to have to put in my channel directly, as I don't think I can edit the description live. Probably. Anyhow, where was I? Blocking. It's an odious thing overall, but I would say this is one of the very legitimate uses for it.
Have you gone all Steve Shives on us, shoe on head? You're gonna block him. You don't talk to him, block him. You can't have conversations with them. You can't hold any rational debate. Oh my God, shoe on head.
You shouldn't actually. There's reason underage individuals should be expected to hold rational debates with grown-ass men who want to molest them. It's just a bit uncouth, and I would say not anywhere near on Shive's level to suggest that blocking them is a bad idea. But basket case rainbow-haired anime guy girl thing feels differently. What an interesting case. But from one thing to another, from stranger danger to active death threats, have you taken some time to actively ponder the future? And slaughter bots. Yes, slaughter bots. There's a group out today that's doing their best to make us aware of where kill drone technology is going, and I thought I would take some time to share their video with you.
Customer pilots directed almost 3,000 precision strikes last year. We're super proud of it. It allows you to separate the bad guys from the good. It's a big deal. But we have something much bigger.
Spoiler alert, drones can't actually separate good guys from bad guys.
Kids probably have
They
one
just
of these,
hypothetically separate who they're supposed to kill versus who they're not.
right? Not quite.
Maybe.
Hell of a pilot? No. That skill is all AI.
Oh dear,
It's
still have
flying
a chat
itself.
manager.
Its processor can react 100
Okay.
times faster than a human. The stochastic motion is an anti-sniper feature.
Brilliant video, by the way. This is,
Just like any
Pretty
mobile
plausible.
device these days, it has cameras and sensors, and just like your phones and social media apps, it does facial recognition. Inside here is 3 grams of shaped explosive.
now things get interesting.
This is how it works.
Boom! Headshot!
Did you see that? That little bang is enough to penetrate the skull and destroy the contents. They used to say guns don't kill people, people do. Well, people don't. They get emotional.
Increasingly, not anymore. Mind you. Well, there's been some issue with drone pilots coming to view it as a game. That'd be a bit hard for them. Certainly, there's a disturbing trend with advanced weaponry to depersonalize the whole killing experience. Not that humanity's ever found it that difficult to murder each other anyway. This is one of the things that Arketer Labs would never work on. Because, quite frankly, it's just too much of a sticky wicket. We probably would work on something that would screw with the sensors, though. That's defensive technology. No purview. Technically, this is defense and defense. Well, look, I have to abide by the ethical charter anyway. Once again, I suppose I should try to find the chat again. Right, let's see. I'm gonna pop the chat for Clyde's soapbox catch up on chat there. Just bear with me. Hopefully, no one said anything terribly witty that I haven't had a chance to enjoy properly. Oh, and Clyde has, in fact, been watching from Clyde's soapbox. Greetings, Clyde. Glad you could join us. Now, Direwolf. Oh, right, there it is. For watching there. Greetings, Direwolf, Bucky's girl, and Mr. Foxlot. See, I think I've cut about everyone I can reach right now. That's good, right? Back to the video. I have to say, whoever put this together did an excellent job, because that does look like just the sort of gent who would be happily telling us all about how the autonomous kill drones are a really great idea and fun for everyone.
Disobey orders, aim high. Let's watch the weapons make the decisions. Now trust me, these were all bad guys.
We're all expected to do a little trusting these days, aren't we?
Surgical precision. It's one of a range of products. Trained as a team, they can penetrate buildings, cars, trains, evade people, bullets, pretty much any countermeasure. They cannot be stopped.
That's false.
I said this was big. Why?
But I don't think many
Because
people
we
have the
are
defenses
thinking
handy.
Big. Watch.
People should probably start looking into defenses against things like this on a personal level, you know, just in case.
Now buys this. Enough to kill half a city. The bad half. Nuclear is obsolete.
The bad half.
Take out your entire enemy, virtually risk-free. Just characterize him, release the swarm, and rest easy. These are available today.
What an easy form that is to fill out to kill someone with a kill drone. Age, sex, location, uniform.
Specialist clients.
The nation is
Not even
still
hair color.
recovering from yesterday's incident, which officials are describing as some kind of automated attack, which killed 11 U.S. senators at the Capitol building.
Oh, don't make it sound good.
One side of the aisle. It was chaos. People were screaming.
You can see high windows, very small, precisely punctured to gain entry to the building.
What did you do for the victim?
I just did what I could for them. Things weren't even interested in me. They're just buzzing.
Government sources admit the intelligence community.
I do like the fact they didn't specify which side.
Attack.
It doesn't matter when it gets this far.
Group or even a single individual.
So if we can't defend ourselves, then we strike back.
We are investing very heavily in classified defense projects.
We make it our deterrent like our nuclear deterrent. We stockpile in the millions, the billions.
At key facilities. The White House, the New York Stock Exchange, Wall Street.
Safe in their homes.
Well, we wish we had boots on the ground in every community in this country, but we don't. So our
Ollie?
Extraordinary.
Ollie, oh, hi. Hi, Ollie, honey. How's Edinburgh today? How are all your studies going, huh?
Good. Great.
Oh, great. Hey, aren't we doing a video call today?
I'm kind of with people, so
Oh.
What a lovely slice of life.
Come on, Oliver, put her on.
Oh, no, it's not like that.
Oh, well, listen, I see some photos here with
Friendly
some
activists. I'm sure everything will go fine for them.
What's that all about? Oh, wait a minute here. And on your mom, she's on the spy stuff in the military?
What? What is this video right here? Oh.
No, I'm not going to click on
Oh, it's just this human rights thing about oppression or whatever.
Honey, you're not going into politics, are you? I mean,
Okay,
no
Mom.
protest march.
Safe here, just like you said it would be.
Heavy traffic approaching the A720 this morning due to police.
Police are not saying this morning what prompted the alert.
Claim relaxing firearm legislation would be useless against the so-called slaughter bots.
Is to stay away from crowds. When indoors, keep windows covered with shutters.
Protect your family. Stay inside.
This, the engaged few, is a disturbingly plausible view of the future. Propaganda, anti-killbot propaganda, but probably worth considering nevertheless. And it feels like something for a Marvel movie, indeed, Jacob. But it's terribly plausible. Mr. Foxlot apparently recommends a book called The Kill Decision regarding what happens when control of these is lost. But in this case, you don't necessarily need to get lost. The technology to make these bloody things is pretty much there. Not that far off at all. Just hasn't seen much use in that capacity yet.
I can hear it. Mom.
Authorities are still struggling to make sense of an attack on university campuses worldwide, which targeted some students and not others. The search for a motive is apparently turning to social media, and a video shared by the victims exposing corruption at the high...
It's far from surprising. The weapons took away the expense, danger, and risk of waging war.
There's going to be something like this coming from I imagine, but what really scares me is when this gets in the hands of the assorted ideologues.
Or a crank.
Who could have done this?
Anyone.
Dumb weapons drop where you point them. Smart weapons consume data. When you can find your enemy using data, even by a hashtag, you can target an evil ideology right where it starts.
And who wants to kill evil ideology? And now a message from the creators.
This short film is more than just speculation. It shows the results of integrating and miniaturizing technologies that we already have. I'm Stuart Russell, a professor of computer science at Berkeley. I've worked in AI for more than 35 years. Its potential to benefit humanity is enormous, even in defense. But allowing machines to choose to kill humans will be devastating to our security and freedom. Thousands of my fellow researchers agree. We have an opportunity to prevent the future you just saw, but the window to act is closing fast.
And I wouldn't really necessarily hold my breath on that one. This is probably going to happen. I don't see them stopping anytime. But that's enough depressing for now. Speaking of social media, I just wanted to remind everyone of an incident not too long ago. Say, remember when Sinclair Broadcasting read a script verbatim across all the local news channels because they couldn't bother to come up with an original one for everyone? I do. Remember when they tried to sell that as Sinclair Media, well, using Sinclair Broadcasting points as Trump's soldiers on fake news?
San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about the trouble and trend.
Everyone should.
Plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of
Greetings, Vincent. This is an open mic. You're welcome to join me. If you have the chats open, you could even help out on that point.
I remember this clear.
Oh, welcome.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda.
Greetings, Dork Oracle. Glad you could join me.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 So you remember this, Dork Oracle?
Dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous.
Everyone should.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
But not for the reasons they insist.
To our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous 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 to our democracy.
Deadspin, however, was very happy to spin that again. This was all Trump's doing, you know. Sinclair Media is supposedly very pro-Trump. Now, Trump himself made a mistake on this. Apparently, he said that laughing at Sinclair was absurd because they were more honest than CNN and especially NBC, even though Sinclair actually owns a bit of NBC's broadcasting networks.
I'm so sorry, my computer literally just crashed on me.
Ah. Welcome back, Miss Steam. Sorry, Dork Oracle, you were saying?
Sinclair, owns so many news stations. It was a stupid thing to send the same script to every news show that they owned. But, they're trying
it was stupid.
They're still trying to spread that stupid message, though, aren't they? It's ridiculous.
Oh.
By the way, on that previous subject...
Oh, the slaughter bots.
Yes, I'm surprised it was a professor at Berkeley that said, we need to stop this because they've gone completely the opposite way.
Yes, apparently, well, it's probably going to get worse before it's better on that point. But, you know, we'll see, we'll see. We've got a lot of very powerful, very active people out there who are concerned about the threats AI poses. For instance, Elon Musk has always taken this very seriously. I'm hoping that Trump's initiative to look into AI in the future includes an awful lot towards preventing this, and also how they're going to stop freelancer autonomous kill drones.
Yes, my 74-year-old father-in-law quite concerned about all of this stuff. Like, he always turns his phone off when he's having a conversation about government, so on and so forth. He doesn't join social media sites because he doesn't trust them, and he's like one of those people, and like, I'm kind of believing him more and more these days.
Yes. I'm not inclined to overreact, but I do think that on an individual basis, we would all do well to take some time out to think, how would I stop a swarm of kill drones with shaped explosives designed to hollow out my skull? There are things you could probably do and should probably look into. But it might be a bit early now. Never hurts, never hurts. On this topic, the Sinclair media incident, they spun this as being Trump using Sinclair to attack CNN and what he called fake news.
Oh,
but
God.
Oh, it is all this very article that I draw this video from, Deadspin, they're claiming that. New York Times also claim that. Wherever you see this video these days, it's usually attached to an article blaming Trump for this happening. But there's a small problem there. Over the course of that script you heard, repeated by countless people who claim to be reporters and journalists, but are in fact paid actors, demonstrably so, they never talk about MSNBC or CNN as being fake news. They talk about fake news on social media. They mean things like InfoWars. And it really pays to never, ever forget this incident,
And I'm Ryan Wolf. Our greatest
because it should drive home. These are not journalists. These are not reporters. These are low-rent actors delivering lines with scripts. No independent thought.
Plaguing our country.
Behold, what were once thought to be the watchdogs on power.
On social media, more alarming, some media outlets.
Now the watchdogs of power, you can't even tell to learn to code without getting banned from Twitter.
Oh, yes, that.
So, let's take a moment for some social blather, while I also recommend everyone to, again, consider entering the, Oh, I just realized, Direwolf doesn't have a present avenue to inform me if anyone's joined the raffle. Oh well, they'll know. If anyone wants to join the raffle, Direwolf Media is auctioning off some, raffling off some comic books. The Dream Keepers, Volume 1 and 2, I believe. Just $2. Also, if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing to Clyde Box, Direwolf Media on StreamMe and YouTube.
Okay.
Team, you could perhaps maybe throw those links in the chat. Maybe?
Okay, I've got all the chats up. Again, I'm really sorry for that.
Oh, no, technical difficulties happen. You know, I think the audience usually enjoys watching me squirm and sweat profusely. It's great fun for everyone. And inevitable when things like this happen, which they do. Anyhow, so, Dorkoracle, how have you been?
Yes, I have been very well, thank you. Just been doing the usual housewife stuff, as a good woman should.
In Australia.
That's pretty much it. Yes, in Australia. Also, Discord, please fix your shit. That would be much appreciated. I dislike people cutting off and me not being able to hear them, and also getting completely kicked off and not being able to rejoin. So, fix your apps, please.
Change what?
I was saying Discord should fix their apps.
Ah,
because
yes,
they mess
yes,
up
yes,
a
absolutely.
lot.
And maybe when I start doing these things, I just do invite through Hangouts or some such. We'll see. Let's see. I think we've been joined by someone else.
Yes, Dill 101. Hello.
Oh. Greetings. Are you on your phone by chance?
I am.
Okay. I will warn you right now that over the last stream, there was some complaint over some noise for the background. If that happens again, I will need to mute you, but hopefully that won't be necessary. In the future, if on phones, I'm probably going to prohibit that in the sort of join chat, just because they're not really designed for it and it can get a bit distracting. But for now, we're A-okay. Just warning you.
So no one on phones will be allowed to be on your streams anymore?
Well, if I'm inviting strictly in some interview thing, when I'm sort of set aside a certain amount of quiet time, then that's fine. It's just that the audio quality is very hard to follow for everyone else listening in, and they are prone to disruption.
That's fair enough. Also, Cassie 951 says hi from England.
Oh, greetings, Cassie951. I believe you and Steam have something in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we both live in a shit country.
Acute sympathies. Oh, and Vincent Veritas has joined us as well.
Hello. I didn't do that.
Can I just say, dear British people, please let us leave your frickin' Commonwealth. You are ruining our country.
Excuse me, you're the ones ruining our country.
What are the Australians doing to the British?
How?
Are they exporting giant spiders?
Because we're a part of us, because Australia is part of us, it's going to directly affect us.
I'm sorry, do we get arrested for tweets?
I don't know. Do Australians? I would hope not, but...
I'd like to, for the record, I'd like to point out that Australians are nothing more than British Texans.
You know, I've heard this before, and I fully agree. I was originally Texan. I recognize my own.
Oh, well, that's probably because I was born and raised in Queensland, but that's a different story altogether, okay? There are many different people and accents in Australia. You guys just don't, you don't tell the accents differently, unfortunately. And I also blame my husband's family. I was a, true bogan, but I was forced into this accent because they constantly corrected my speech. So I also blame them.
Oh, hello, memes of destruction.
Ah, welcome, memes of destruction. Glad you could join us. Well, we have another topic to go through. I'm not sure how many people I should invite to read this, but it should be relatively short. This one was sent to me by one Sarky the Real, who is also unfortunately in England. Poor bastard. Transgender women should be entitled to womb transplant so they can have baby. The world's first baby using a womb from a dead woman took place in Brazil in 2017. Doctors celebrated the birth of the world's first baby using a womb transplanted from a deceased donor to a woman. Leading British surgeon has called for transgender women to be entitled to womb transplants so they can have their own babies. Can you cite the one word here that's extremely unacceptable in this context?
Entitled.
Entitled. That's right.
Exactly. I don't mind them doing that, but being entitled for it, I don't agree with.
This leading British surgeon seems like a bit of an idiot. Maybe that's not what they said. Maybe this is just the journalists screwing with us all again, because it wouldn't be the first time. But no. One thing we can get down right now is that while maybe this is acceptable, plausibly, maybe with proper study, there's no way they can be entitled. You can't say, oh, your wife died. Well, we'll be taking her uterus now to give to a trans woman.
Yes.
It's going to go to waste otherwise. Technically true, but we've got a bit of a problem there. There is no way...
Don't the spouses have to give permission for their loved one's body parts to be used?
Yes, and this is even messier than if they simply gave permission to say, take a heart, or a lung, or the kidneys. Because, let's say this goes perfectly to plan. Let's say they pop out the uterus, the ovaries, whatnot, pop them in, fertilize it, and it just goes swimmingly. Biologically speaking, any resulting child is the deceased woman's. How does that not present certain sticky complications for the family of the deceased? And if they all sign off on it, then that could be attenuated. But I'm sorry, what?
I feel bad for the child. Sorry.
I heard one of you say, I feel bad for the child.
That is correct. That's what he said.
Okay, very good. Yes, I would too. That's going to be rather confusing in the extreme.
Mr. Foxalot says, what happened to the hands of my uterus movement?
A dead woman's vagina.
Okay, hold on. Steam, first?
Foxalot says, what happened to the hands of my uterus movement?
The hands of his uterus? I didn't know Mr. Foxalot had a uterus movement. I'm not sure I'm hearing that correctly.
He put, what happened to the hands off my uterus movement?
Oh, apparently that only counts if you're alive. And Dylan, what was that again?
I just imagine, like, that child must be like, I get out of a dead woman's vagina.
I'm sorry.
Well, not quite. See, while they might be able to actually have the uterus popped in there with ovaries and whatnot, they don't have any delusions they're going to make it possible for them to give birth, except through C-section. So, they won't really be traversing the dead, well, technically still living, but dead woman's canal.
Does this mean we're going to start to see a rise in, you know, we had those kidney thieves. Think they're going to start chopping out women's uterus for money too?
Well, who knows? There are crazy times these days. I mean, children are not considered children, like babies are not considered babies. Even if they're coming out of the birth canal, people want to still abort them. So yes, these are crazy times. Anything could.
I don't know if they want to abort them, but certainly the governor of Virginia was awfully comfortable with the idea. After all, they're going to take this infant, they're going to make it comfortable, but you can't make a corpse comfortable, so you know they're already alive at that point. Something's a bit off there. Mind you, if it is a technically alive, pulsating mass of teeth and hair, that's one thing, but they're not being very precise in what they're talking about. That's a problem.
I feel like if on purpose they do that.
I'm sorry? The audio is absolutely terrible, I'm afraid.
I feel like they do it on purpose.
You know, I considered that. The legislation they try to pass, hypothetically, is for very rare cases where, say, you have a dead baby in the uterus still, and they just need permission to get it out. But, there's something weirder going on. Mind you, I could see them playing it up because they do want all the citizens at each other's throats rather than actually paying attention to the details.
Well, at least that side is eating their own. So, like, Mr. Governor of Virginia, it wasn't me in those blackface KKK photos, but I did wear blackface playing Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
That guy. gosh, it's ridiculous. It's okay though, he's a diplomat, so it's alright.
The healthy girl weighing 5.6 pounds is a major breakthrough in the field. Surgeon Christopher Ingfield, founder of the London Transgender Clinic, says a successful uterus implant into a trans female body is achievable today. They say this, of course, but they haven't actually tested it. Mind you, that they really should before they stake in done with any regularity. After all, popping a uterus from a dead woman into a living woman is one thing. Popping it from a dead woman into a genetically male individual is something else. There's really no guarantee that the male body will handle the hormone changes and everything else necessary to successfully bring a child to term. How is this person a leading surgeon?
I'm not a surgeon, so I'm not.
Okay. I'm terribly sorry, Dylan, but this is inaudible. Can't really follow it. Thank you for dropping by. If you do improve the audio in the future, we can discuss it, but this is not going to be tenable.
That's alright.
Right. You're welcome to stick around, of course, but I'm going to have to, well, remove you, I'm afraid.
Oh, I'll just leave.
Okay.
I'll just leave.
Yes, I have to keep things audible. Sorry. Cheers. Thanks for watching.
That is a very good question, though. That is a very good question, Arketer. How is he a surgeon, a surgical director, when he's denying biology and biological science?
Mm-hmm. And speaking on a matter of faith as to how plausible it is, but to say again, titled. Oh, Mr. Ingfield. Doesn't he look familiar?
Oh, wait a second.
Oh my god.
He does.
This is like, Trump's evil cousin? Mr. Ingfield says
I'd have to see his hands.
Oh, I don't know about Trump's evil cousin. More like a special needs version of Trump, maybe.
My quick as well. It's like, hello, I'm here.
His mentally disabled. Oh, and greetings, Gray. This is the first time I think you've joined us on the audio, is it?
Yep.
Well, welcome. Gray, if you weren't aware, is a 3D modeler who I've recently printed out a dog of their design.
My lecturers were very impressed with that. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. One of my own works is presently on display. The Only Good Vampire. We were just discussing, as you are aware, the possibility of putting uteri and whatnot into trans and so they can have
a kind of Frankenstein's womb.
Indeed. Now, something seems a bit off here. Like, for instance, I know that a lot of trans individuals tend to save their sperm before they transition. This was discussed briefly on Monday. So, if they, say, save a bunch of sperm, transition, get one of these popped in, and fertilize the eggs with their own sperm, what does that make them in relation to the child?
Well, genetically, they'd be the father, right?
Yes. The father who has the mother's uterus implanted. Again, there's a lot of cause to feel sorry for any kids born this way. I mean, growing up is quite confusing enough.
Hello,
It's gonna be a bit of a mindfuck.
Oh, and greetings, Izub. And yes, it is. The kids are going to need counseling. It's...
No counselling in the world could help them with that situation.
They'll probably survive it. They're just probably going to have a lot of questions that can't be meaningfully answered. He explained the most important step is The harvesting from the donor has great care is required to avoid damage to arteries and veins supplying the uterus. So hopefully the odds of waking up in Vegas missing your uterus should be low. They're not going to be able to just brute force it. The actual plumbing in is straightforward. The donor vessels are connected to the pelvic artery and veins, which are the same in both males and females. With uterus transplant in a trans female, neovaginal will be opened at the pelvic end to accept the donor womb. And the same procedure is used in a cis female transplant, with the donor uterus being attached to the native vagina. Trans females have a much narrower pelvis than cis women of the same height, but there would still be room for them to carry a child. Supplemental hormones can be taken to replicate the changes that occur in the body when a woman is pregnant. Because they'll, of course, always get the dosages right. I mean, they never get that wrong, right?
Let's press X. Press X to doubt.
Yes, this is a doubt moment.
Oh, Talkie's got the point. Child will be healthy, not have complications as a result of this. Child could probably have complications from a dead woman's uterus.
That's possible. I would say it's more likely that there be some hormonal issue, because they're not, I don't believe they're going to get the balance right. Certainly not in the first try. There will be errors before these things are mastered. Nothing to really rush into.
I certainly think I'm going to trust millions of years of evolution over
preferable
few decades. Few decades of research and surgery. Come on.
Meanwhile, it's highly unlikely that a trans female would give birth naturally, but would be delivered via cesarean section in order to safeguard the child. Because you're clearly concerned about these children, sir. Clearly. Other experts have also endorsed Inglefield's claims. Other experts, you know. We're not going to say who, but other ones. They're super competent and smart, and you should like them. Just take our word for it. Trust us. They're the good guys.
Is adoption not a thing anymore? Because I thought that was a thing.
Or, hell, in vitro fertilization, if you absolutely must have your genetic DNA being passed on. I suppose you can find surrogates. I know they've let things like that go by in the past.
All right, we should take bets now. How long is it going to be before the first trans man has an abortion?
Oh gosh, 2 years.
You know, I think this line of articles has proven a lot more depressing than I had originally thought. And Slaughterbots seem like so much fun.
So you think you're going into a good giggle, you scratch the surface, and it's all just dark and sick.
Yes. The whole situation is dark.
Well, you know, we've made it far enough to the hour. Once again, remind you that there is a raffle going through Direwolf Media to win a comic book if you're so inclined. And also, be sure to tune in, before I forget again, later on, to the call-in show, which is taking place in 3 hours from now.
Roughly 4.
You know, I say it's 4, it's 3. When I say it's 3, it's 4. Oh, well,
well, you would... Wednesdays we have it at 8, and Saturdays we have it at 7, so...
Okay, well, I guess that explains it then. So, you know, do that, I guess.
Yeah. If you're around, you're welcome to come on, Arketer.
No, I can possibly do that. I've been overdosing on caffeine, so I just might be around anyway.
Excellent. We're having Raging Golden Eagle on there.
Ah, excellent. I was asking Direwolf to inform me whenever you have a guest on. Really need to pass that along. It's a huge selling point, especially when last Saturday you had Aiden Paladin. I was jealous.
A lot of people were. She apparently has a lot of fanboys.
Oh yes, very interesting person. It's always nice to hear an electoral take on things, although I don't necessarily agree with her taste in most regards, because I personally hate paladins. But, moving on! Let's have a guaranteed laugh-a-minute article. By 2019 will be the year of the male feminist, and I'm calling on men to drop their macho act and get on board.
Get woke.
It just screams to me, calling all cucks.
Yes.
Pretty much. Does anyone want to take paragraphs from this? I think we have just enough time to go through it.
I'd have to.
I'm providing links even now, whether you want them or not.
Okay.
Excellent. Oh dear.
Wait.
Oh my god.
I really must learn the remaining verses to the Blackadder theme. A lot more than I realized. But I only have the basics set down. Bit of a shame. Hahan isn't it? No, wait, we need another accent. I need to expand my vocabulary. For now, I guess I'll go with a classic. Farhan is an internationally acclaimed actor, producer, and singer and songwriter with over 11 million followers on Twitter and a global profile in the spotlight. Farhan frequently speaks of female empowerment and is a male ambassador to the UN He for She campaign. A large moment of his music is inspired by equality in addressing the maltreatment of women, along with his debut album releasing in the UK in March of this year, eh? Here he tells Glamour that what life as a male feminist is really like.
That explains why I haven't heard of him.
Sounds about right. Does anyone want this next one?
I'll take it. Naturally, at the beginning of the year, there's a lot in the media predicting what 2019 will be the year of. From the year of the vegan to the year of hope. There are predictions in every sector as to what lies in store for the next 12 months. So here's mine. 2019 will be the year of the male feminist. Why? Because we're ready to stand up and unite as one to empower women and spread the message of equality, safety, and peace.
I can take this next one.
Go hog wild.
Because we all know what happens when you have a male feminist around for too long.
Like 2019 is going to be the year of can it really get any worse?
There you go.
Okay. But of course, this won't happen simply because I said it will. Equality isn't a word which can be brandished at will and still bear its weight it demands. There's yet plenty of work to be done before we can say that we have had a year in which men truly embrace the feminist movement, particularly within the show business sphere.
As a male feminist myself and ambassador for the UN He for She campaign, the empowerment and safety of women has played a huge part in my career. From forming the inspiration behind a number of the tracks in the Echoes album, right down to the MARD initiative to raise awareness of discrimination and sexual violence against women. Male feminism is not something I feel emasculates us, but quite the opposite, in fact. Feminism is a sign of somebody who understands the beauty of equality and the need to protect, empower, and liberate the women in our lives. Strong man is somebody who has the self-confidence to embrace equality.
You know, somehow it sounds like he's trying to talk himself into that.
It's funny. Feminism has been something of a bugbear for me personally, mostly because I've been needing to make a third part to my How to Destroy Your Enemies to Your Own Applause, and I really want to cover feminism, and there's so much material I just can't focus. Like, for instance, this last time they had the sort of rescripting of the Star Wars original trilogy in a cartoon, and they decided to empower Princess Leia, a strong character initially, but now is only strong because all the men around her are barely sentient enough to breathe.
Well,
It's true. Life as a male feminist, particularly in the public eye, is both rewarding and challenging. We're living in an era of prejudice whereby people strive to please and fit certain socially constructed images. This, in part, has an impact on whether men choose to present themselves as feminists. This is why I believe it's high time we started to see more male role models vocalize their support for female empowerment, as this will see the vital messages of equality spread further and begin to resonate with more men. Hold your breath, buddy.
Great. Would you like to take this next one?
Wait, did you ask me?
Well, I actually asked Gray, but you could take it as well. After all, Gray isn't responding for some reason. I hope you're still alive, Gray.
Gray can take over. I thought...
He might be having the same problems I'm having, which is like Discord will just suddenly like make it seem like there's dead air. Like, especially if you're on the phone, so he has to like leave and come back so he can hear you guys. I just had to do that just then.
Fair enough. Steam, go for it.
I'll take over. At the moment, too many male celebrities are worried to attach themselves to messages of female empowerment in fear of damage to their macho persona. But I believe 2019 will see a shift from this mindset. As a man myself, I find it difficult when I hear the
redacted
of women. I think, how would I feel if that was my family? I wish I could tell each and every woman that they're not alone, but of course I cannot physically do that. This is why us men need to join arms in our mission for a day in which both men and women can live in a peaceful, equal society, free of violence and oppression.
There's so much wrong with that paragraph. One.
I'm blinded by his virtue. If I weren't wearing these sun goggle things, I'd be blind. As it is, I'm pretty scarred.
I broke up in laughter.
And it's funny, he keeps having to refer to himself as a man in every paragraph so far.
Well,
as
you can,
a man myself,
you can tell identity politics is at hand in this one.
Yeah, I'm just. It's like he has to convince himself that he still generates testosterone.
As a man,
he's lying to himself.
Well, we already know he's male at this point. So what's his point in stressing that as a man? Was he going to say, well, as a woman? As a squircob,
okay.
As a gender void. I know people on Twitter sincerely call themselves that. But oh well. That's not surprising to anyone who's seen Twitter.
Men need to join arms. Need to just lock elbows and join arms and march in solidarity. Good Lord.
Dre,
I'm sorry, male feminist, but I have to tell you this. Not that big.
What?
4 inches isn't that big.
What do they call male feminists now? They're not male feminists, they're like accomplices or something? Like
male allies, perhaps.
Allies. That's
Allies.
The one.
Allies.
Allies. You know, studies do show these allies have a lower stomach.
I think they're in the United States. I think they're referred to as the future sex offenders of America. I'm not sure.
Well, that's only when they unionize. Dre, would you like to take this next article, or shall I give it a shot? Okay, Gray is still out, so I'm gonna go for it.
I will message.
Well, it is fine, really. Maybe they don't want to. They're okay. They're okay. This is a relaxed setting. We're not expecting professionalism here, and whenever they do speak, they're perfectly audible. So I think we're doing quite well. So I'll go ahead and take the next.
I can't hear anyone.
Possibly, yes. Discord. 2019 will build on the success of the year just passed in terms of the Pound Me Too campaign, raising awareness of oppression and the maltreatment of women. Bollywood, for example, has been left reeling as accusations of sexual assault have rocked the film industry recently. What is very encouraging right now is that women are feeling less afraid to speak up about what's been happening for far too long. As men, we must uplift them with the strength to do this.
Excuse me, did he just actually suggest, I mean, in a nutshell, putting the pussy on a pedestal?
Pretty much, yes. It's funny, modern feminism sounds an awful lot like expecting and needing women to be completely reliant upon men.
That gets the old noggin jogging, doesn't it? The fact is, women are coming out and more people are supporting them. The domino effect is that more are encouraged to speak out, and effective, the careers of the perpetrators are rightfully tarnished as a result. Female empowerment is the buzz of the year, so watch this space as 2019 becomes the year of the male feminist.
But not for the reasons he imagined. Or, hey, maybe it will in India. He was talking about Bollywood after all. I have to say, if we're being quite fair, there's probably some room for improvement in India.
Well, there's a lot of rape going on there.
Hello, Direwolf.
Dire Wolf is in the chat then.
Welcome, Direwolf. Perhaps you can inform me if anyone has entered the raffle. He probably has been messaging me on Skype, but I had to disable that because otherwise I wouldn't be hearing beeps and bleeps.
It says Vincent is a weeb and Vincent is quiet.
I am quite a weeb.
And apparently quiet?
Yeah, I guess so. Let me...
I guess so. Oh, no, wait.
How is this?
Should be much better. I've confirmed the audio levels is where it should be. Okay, well, we are approaching the end of the stream. Again, please tune in another 4 hours for the weekly call-in show with Direwolf Media, and there's a fine raffle going on there. Before I start shutting down, is there anything anyone else wanted to plug, promote, or talk about?
Well, tonight, if you... go ahead. Go ahead. Someone else was going to go.
Oh, someone else?
I guess not. Well, anyway, tonight we'll have our Direwolf weekly call-in show. We'll have Raging Golden Eagle on as a guest, and I think we'll be continuing the Dreamkeepers raffle. And we'll also have an interview that I did with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I wasn't expecting that. Well done.
There is a hitch, of course, but go ahead.
Oh, well, I would have imagined. But, you know, just for a second, I just really didn't see that coming. That field, stunned. I was prepared to slurp at the camera and just completely derail the thought. First off, I would like to thank Steam for stepping in as chat manager. I understand technical difficulties, no worries there. I have an announcement. This Saturday, I will be having Plitopod as a guest. I haven't seen a Plitopod before. I'm going to be doing a rendition of what I think a Plitopod looks like. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm researching them as we... Well, not as we speak. A break from that to this. Anyhow, please tune in for that interview with Plitopod. And...
The Plitopod.
The Plitopod. A Plitopod? Plitopod. We'll figure out what's going on then. Until then, ostensibly, progress continues. Thank you all for joining me, especially everyone in the voice.
It's always a pleasure.
Oh, yep. First time, but glad to be here.
Yes. Thank you again for joining. Until next time, ostensibly, progress continues. Shut it already. Thank you.
Excellent.
That was nice.